us in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. And again, good evening to everyone. Madam Secretary, can you please do roll call?
Trustee Botowski.
Trustee Belkowski did let me know today that she will be absent. She's not feeling well.
Trustee Nasir.
Present.
Trustee Gator.
Present.
Trustee Wall.
Present.
Trustee Serlini.
Present.
Trustee Williams present. Trustee Dyron.
Yes. Present. All those things. Same thing. Thank you. We have a quorum. I respectfully ask that we bow our heads just to pay our respects to anyone in our community who we've lost, anyone who's currently in grief and mourning, to our fallen soldiers, and all of the above. Thank you. Okay. And thank you for that. Before we move to adopt our agenda, I forewarn you all, I have quite a few changes that I would ask the board to consider with explanations for them all, which I think are very reasonable. And also Susan has put on our plates, if you will, an agenda that is more accurate. Shall these things be adopted? Okay, so you have the one in your packet, which I would ask that it be excused, and then the new one that is on the table be used if adopted. So for 8C, that position is for Pardee and not veterans. Again, that position is for Pardee and not veterans. That was 8B. I apologize, 8B. And again, that is for the name Nadia Matea. And again, that position is for Pardee and not veterans. For 8D, we can remove that because that NASB conference was canceled. Again, removing that from our agenda due to cancellation. For 8H, please include that it is no cost to the students, but it is a cost to the district of $500 for the payment of the bus. And again, those monies will be derived from general fund. I'll repeat that, $550, thank you. It is no cost to the student, no cost for the students, but it is at a cost to the district of $550 for the cost of the bus, and it will be derived from general fund. For 8J, for illustrative mathematics, it is for a cost of $10,000. I'll repeat that again, 8J, illustrative mathematics, at a cost of $10,000. I'll wait until I should be finished. Okay. For number 9, under unfinished business, that should be an action item. And the explanation for that is typically under unfinished and under new business. We just discussed those. But after talking with the board, I put it on the agenda as an action item. So again, in our new agenda that you can see, that's already been placed for you. And Madam Secretary, if you could use a roll call from the previous action item, that would be good, unless you object. The roll call name from whatever previous action items you did have on the agenda. Yeah. Okay, and then for 10A and B, under new business, those should also be action items. Covers it, or at least the changes that I have identified. And I'll now move forward to an adoption of the agenda.
Just let me ask for B, the second personnel. I think she also starts on.
I can't hear it.
Oh, sorry. The Melanie Cook in B.
Yeah.
I think she's also a third party.
If you look at this one, it's up there.
Oh,
On the
well,
new
I
one,
didn't.
It's there.
All right, thanks.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Okay. I think everyone is good with that. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the December 6th, 2023 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item or items be moved from the consent agenda to superintendent's report. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Nasser. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by treasurer Scarlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall,
Yes.
trustee Willis, yes, trustee Zerlini.
Yes.
Trustee Dyer.
Yes.
Trustee Nasir.
Yes.
Trustee Gator.
Yes, motion carries. On to public comment on agenda items only. Is there any public comment on agenda items only tonight? Again, is there any public comment on agenda items only?
Hi guys,
Hello,
Rachel LaPointe.
welcome.
Bird Street, Dearborn Heights, all that fun stuff for me.
Rachel, I don't know if your mic is on.
Testing,
It
there
is
we go.
on.
Sorry, Rachel LaPointe, Merrick Street, Dearborn Heights. I brought this up at the policy meeting earlier, but I brought it up previously. I would love to see regarding, readings of board policies, if those policies either prior to the first reading or after the first reading before the second reading, if they could be made available perhaps on the district website, so that members of the public can also review them and give feedback to board members before they are approved in a more final form, where it would be harder to change. So that's it. I know that those policies are pretty good and settled, and good job, guys. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your public comments. Is there any other public comment on agenda items only? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you. On to superintendent's reports. Letter A, 2024 board calendar discussion, which is exhibit number 1 in your packets. If I can ask the board to refer to that exhibit number 1, and then I have some things that I would like the board to consider. Just from hearing from everyone individually. It was brought to my attention to maybe suggest that we add another January date for a regular board meeting of January the 24th. Yeah, please pull out your calendars for that purpose, just so we can review it. Again, the purpose of this discussion is so at the organizational meeting, we can have it pretty set and clear when we want that calendar to be. So again, I am hearing from other board members thinking that we should have a second board meeting date. And so we could possibly make that date January the 24th. Is there any objection to that? Yes,
I actually have another committee meeting that night.
okay,
Just another,
okay,
but it makes sense to me, we should comprehend.
okay. Thank you for your transparency in that. Would you be okay if we did decide to move forward with that date? Or would you like to propose another date?
I feel like, because we're doing it at 10, right? 10,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing it at 10. So the 24th, I think it makes sense. If everyone else was good with it, I'm fine. If I maybe can finagle something with the other board, another meeting, or pop into that and come here, that might be what I do.
Fair enough, thank you. Any other feedback about that date? Okay. The other suggestion that I had heard was that June 19th, which is true, is a federal holiday. So we could possibly have June 6th and June the 26th for meeting dates. What do you guys think about that?
And the 6 day group so close to the graduation.
Good, yeah. So any other date could work as well. Graduation is on the 6th.
Oh, so.
No. Let's look at our calendars, because yeah,
Graduation is obviously Wednesdays.
because I had it written down. Graduation is on the 5th. Graduation is on, yeah,
So we need to check both, the 5th and then.
Because last year, or this year, we only did one in June because of graduation.
that's correct.
So I would suggest doing that again, if possible.
Okay, yeah, time to discuss it. Do we want to just have one meeting in June?
Can I, Leanne?
Yeah.
I think it should be the 12th and the 26th, in 2 meetings in June. There's too much going on. We do the budget hearing at the end of the month. We have to have the budget hearing by then. We have to vote on the budget. So I would not be in favor of doing anything with the 12th or the 26th. If we can't do the 5th or the 19th. If we're not, and I think that would be fine if we're not going to have a meeting on the 3rd of July. So
Okay.
I would be in favor of the 12th and the 26th.
Board?
June.
Agreed. So So I agree with that, I was gonna highlight the last time we did one meeting in June, we were here till like 3 months. So definitely don't wanna repeat that. No, we was here for all night party, we was here for the school board, it felt like the all night party.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm hearing the 12th and the 26th, Tanya.
So I do have the meeting on the 12th and the 26th, but, the 12th one isn't always every month, that's my typical work. So I'm good with that. I can finagle the 26th, I can probably go to that first, and then, so, yeah, if the majority's good with that, then let's go for that.
Okay, I'm hearing yes to that. All right. Yep. And then for July, I did hear either July 3rd and the 17th or July 10th and the 24th. Thoughts on that?
I really think we could go with one in July.
Okay.
We've done it for years.
Thank you for that. Any other people? Okay, trustee Dara?
I agree, we do it every year, but generally, we end up having to try and find another date for another meeting. I would be in favor of scheduling two and then canceling. We could always cancel a meeting. It's hard, as you know, sometimes to herd the cats to get a meeting. So I personally feel we should just go with, there's 5 Wednesdays in July. Go with the 10th and the 24th. We can always cancel if there's not a meeting.
Does that complete your?
It does.
All right, and then I believe Secretary Willis, did you have something? No. Trustee Treasurer,
I'm sorry, what was the 17th, why were we doing that?
no, it
Well,
wasn't.
instead, or instead of, again, switching to the 2nd and the 4th Wednesdays, instead of the 1st and the 17th. And because there'll be vacations, somebody's always gonna miss a meeting in July, to Derek's point. However, at least if you have something scheduled.
Right.
So that is why
Then you
I did suggest either the 3rd or the 17th or the 10th and the 24th.
Well, I definitely would recommend the third, because a lot of people probably take that attendance.
You wanna stay away from the 3rd?
I would.
I would
that's-
stay, then same.
Yeah,
What was that?
I would stay away from the third, because that's right next to
And especially since we're having a meeting now on June 26th, it would be a week
it.
later.
Right.
You're saying the 17th, you're saying the 10th.
I'm saying the 10th and the 24th. That's my 2
I have
cents
no
for what it's
objection.
worth.
Yeah, see, I'm probably not gonna be able to make it again, because I have meetings on those days every month. 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month, that's where I'm stuck.
What
So
would
if I
you be
miss
in favor
June,
of?
I can't do July.
What would you be for?
So, if we go with the 10th board packet, will be due to you guys on the 5th. That way, the vacations and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like Christmas, so we get up a little early.
Yeah. There'll be a quiz
I can
over.
answer for everything.
What about the 17th and the
31st?
31st?
I'm good with that, but if you guys think it's too close to August 7th, then
Exactly,
there's,
it's next week.
the next week,
Oh.
there's a meeting.
Yeah. 17th and 24th, go back to back.
That's a
We
week
can cancel,
apart.
and we can cancel the 24th.
If need be. What do we think?
So good to have them a week apart.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
17th and 24th?
17th and the 24th.
All right. Is there any other discussion about board calendar as it relates to dates? And what do we think about location? Anyone? Trustee Darrow?
Here she goes. For full transparency, I sent each one of you an email, the same email. So I'm just gonna kind of go through it again, that I would be asking the board to return to the board office for meetings in 2024, and here's my reasons why. Historically, the board meetings were always held at the board office at the beginning of time. We would occasionally move them to Polk when we anticipated a crowd. Then COVID happened, the renovations, when COVID happened, people wanted more space, so we bounced around. On that point, we now sit as close as we would at the board table. The board conference room is for the purpose of board meetings. The conference table is large enough for all 7 of us, the superintendent and Susan. It used to also be the superintendent, the board secretary, and the assistant superintendent, or any other staff member. If we or staff need any materials that they don't have on hand, there's been at least 2 times, maybe 3, that someone has said, "Oh, do you have it?" And I've heard, "It's on my desk." "Oh, darn," well, you could run in and get it on your desk, at the board office. If we need copies, the copier is right there. There's a break room for the board dinner, and I'm sure, like I said, that the board staff would probably appreciate those leftovers. You don't have to move locations for closed sessions. You stay in that room, you close the door. There's a bathroom right there. There's equipment, the screen right there. There's no need for microphones because everyone can hear you. And people don't always speak into the mics anyway because they can fight for that. The parking lot is right there. Last week when we had a closed session, I walked out to my car. The front door of the building was open. It was totally dark out there, and there was a gentleman hunched down sitting, and I was the only one parked out there. And I know that I can park in the back like the rest of you, but truly I live around the corner, so coming around here, and the door is open, and it remains open because it's a public meeting. We open and we close, but I really shouldn't have to park in the back if I don't want to, especially if the store is open, and it was. I think that that's a little bit on the dangerous side. If we have that problem at home, or at the board office, I'd like to say, today when I pulled up at the board office for my policy meeting, right up there, I looked up and it said Board of Education. There's plenty of audience seating around the perimeter. We have had no more than 10 people since I returned to the board. Right now, we have 6, and those folks over there, 7. Those folks over there, did you come for the board meeting? I didn't. Are you here for the board? I didn't think so. Okay, so.
Mandy, respectfully, that was a point of order.
I apologize.
Thank you.
I apologize. But anyway, I'm just asking that you consider moving to the board office where the meetings were always meant to be. And if it doesn't work out, then we can reassess it. But I think this is a really big space and a lot of electricity to have in place.
All right. Does that complete your advocacy around that?
I'm sorry?
Does that complete your advocacy around?
It does, and I apologize for my point of order
It's
mistake.
okay.
I know about it too, I apologize.
You're fine. It's okay, thank you. Does anyone else have anything they want to add to that? Any thoughts? Yes, Secretary Lewis.
I would prefer to stay at WS just because of the space. Speaking from the position of an audience member, it is not that much space at the board office. It was super cramped, and there's nowhere to take notes when you're trying to write and keep up with the meeting. So from an audience member perspective, it was not the most cozy and welcoming experience when they were having meetings at the board office.
All right, does that complete your comment? All right, thank you. Trustee Nassar, I believe you had your hand raised.
Yes, I would like to add, I think a good compromise in between OWBAS and the board office. I personally really liked using the board library, if that works best for administration because it is right next to the office. And we do get like a nice style to where we're open and facing the public rather as like our backs turned. I kind of appreciate that where I've never had like a regular board meeting in the board office. I don't know how that's like, but that's just how I envision it. That way it's still available for admin to run back and forth if needed. And also I think the board office, the board room would be great for closed sessions. I think that, I've had one in there and I think it was really great. It was small and intimate. And also the public doesn't have to leave the media center. Just like last week or 2 weeks ago when we had our closed session in the cafeteria, in the teachers lounge. I think that was just kind of like weird because like we came out, the lights were off, we were alone because there's not that many people. So I honestly think the library is a good compromise to both of your guys' points. And I kind of enjoyed it also. Maybe we may not need mics because it is more closed. Maybe it might be a couple depending on what the audience has. But for me personally, like I'm very comfortable in that space. And keeping it consistent is something that I really think is good. So don't get confused. I have no issues here, but I think Polk is a good compromise here. It is a little bit large, it is a little bit like, taking up space, we're taking up time, we come out, the lights are off, like, I think both might be a little bit better in that sense. So I am in favor of the full media center, if that works for you guys.
All right, thank you. Does that complete your comments?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anyone else want to chime in? Treasurer Sterling?
Well, no, I'm actually on the fence now, because I do like this area, I like that we're open, I don't feel like we're on top of each other. Everybody, it seems like people are still getting sick, there's sickness going around. I personally am not in favor of that board office, because I think it's just slightly too small and everybody be right on top of each other, so I'm not feeling that. Is Poke a better idea? I don't know, the chairs, everybody sitting there would be uncomfortable. I mean, I'm trying to think of them too, being in the audience, those chairs are not comfortable, like it wasn't, I mean, that wasn't the greatest place to film here, at least maybe people are more comfortable and, you know, I don't know.
Okay. We're getting nowhere with consensus for the record. I'll go to Vice President Wells, circle back.
So, the biggest concern I had was, it's just that it is a confined room, that if you get 6 people, that means some of the board members are gonna have people behind them. I myself am not comfortable with people behind me, especially if it's gonna be a topic that might make somebody react. So for that particular reason, I believe in, safety. As Treasurer Sterling mentioned, because I'm in the health field, the whole thing about catching colds and all that, this is really spaced out, which is really nice. People can do whatever they want. And what I see, is that people can write things. They have something to write down. They don't have that Polk. I like Polk, but they really don't have it. They are, once again, kind of right next to each other, because me, my personal thing would be the auditorium, but we know that needs a whole new system of mics before we can do that. So, and air. Yeah, air and lights. So I'm still liking this place. Oh, I was gonna say, please don't ever walk out alone. Let me know. I'll walk you to your car, because you should nobody should ever walk separately, ever.
I know.
These days. Well, I'm sure you could.
I'm compared to.
So just to make sure I'm hearing correctly, I'm hearing OW Best more than any other location at this time. I'll circle back to you, sir.
I just wanted to remind us as a group that we got a lot of feedback from the Polk librarian about the use of that space, because it is a classroom. And it did take a lot of work for them to have to reset up the library, and the furniture in there was heavy, custom-made furniture. And then, like, for instance, right now, the holiday gift shop is going on in the Polk library. So if we were to meet there tonight, they would have to take that whole gift shop down, and then, put it back up in the morning for the kids. So because they use that space so often for things like that, I wouldn't be in favor of moving back to Polk, but it was my favorite location from a board perspective. From an audience perspective, I have not opened the books. There's something wrong with the books back there.
Okay, so I would like to chime in. I do not like the idea of underutilizing the board office. I think that would be my only issue with that. With Polk, I remember hearing that the Wi-Fi didn't work as well there, and so I remember hearing feedback about that. Well, I don't recall her being that reference, but it was somewhere about a tech issue. But I do like Polk a lot, but I do like OW Best the most for every reason that everyone mentioned. And so that would be what I would want to do, stay at OW. I'll go back to Mandy, and then Mark, if you want to chime in, please let us know. Yes, Mandy.
I'm fine with OW Best. We're not going to go home mad. However, can we at least consider having our closed sessions that are separate from at the end of the meeting? I got we're here, so of course we can go in there, but perhaps if we're going to have just a closed session on an issue and it's a special board meeting, can we consider having that there? Because, okay, you get it.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Or even the other committee meetings, sorry.
Other committee meetings.
Have it there.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I'm hearing correctly, regular meetings here, special and committee meetings at the board office.
Sure.
We did it.
All right.
All right. Okay. Anything else regarding the
excuse
board
me,
calendar.
not special, closed sessions.
I thought I heard you
Special.
say something special.
Well,
You
committee,
can't say every special meeting, because sometimes special meetings are open to the public,
That is
and people come.
Okay,
But closed, that's specifically for closed session like the other night,
got it.
those are the ones that I think should
Closed
be.
session
Yes.
and committee meeting.
Yes. And it doesn't have, I think everyone should be allowed to decide where they want to have their committee meetings. You know, I'm not, I don't want to be a stickler about this. You know, I'm fine if you want to have your committee meeting here before the board meeting. That does not matter, you know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, I utilize the board office, that's my go-to.
Okay, fair enough. As long as we stick to OMA, that's the only thing I care about.
Yes,
And consistency
Yes.
for the sake of people
Yes.
understanding where we are.
sure.
All right. So, Mark, do you want to say anything?
I think that's perfect.
Okay, anything else about this agenda item?
Thank you for
Here
listening to me.
Here you are welcome. On to superintendent's recommendations. Letter A, non-certified staff appointment, exhibit number 2 in your packet. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff appointment. Cynthia Holmes, CYNTHIA, HOLMES, position, paraprofessional at Annapolis High School, effective date November 27th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless, supported by Trustee Dyroff. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Dara?
Yes.
And Trustee Gayton?
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Holmes. Letter B, certified staff appointments, exhibit number 3. Be resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff appointments. Name, Nadia Batahe, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. NADIA-BATAYEH. Again, that is a third-party contract hire. Speech pathologist at Part E, effective date December 6, 2023. We also have Melanie Cook, who's also a third-party hire. Spelling of her name is MELANIECOOK, at the position of social worker at Polk Elementary, effective date November 21st, 2023. We have Sarah Massant, SARAHMISSANT, for the position of resource room teacher at Annapolis High School, effective date November 27th, 2023. Lastly, we have Lisa Valente, LISAVALENTE, for the position of speech and language pathologist at OW Best, effective date November 27th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. Any support? Support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Gayton?
Yes, motion carries, and welcome to all of you to our district. On to letter C, first reading of proposed new, revised, and reissued board policies, exhibit number 4 in your packets. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the first reading of proposed new, revised, and reissued Neola board policies as presented. And just for transparency, I'll read the policy number and then the policy title. I won't read the volumes, if that is okay with everyone. All right, because it's quite a few. Bylaw 0144.1, compensation. Policy 1615, use of tobacco by administrators. Policy 2623, student assessment. Policy 3125, use of tobacco. Yes.
Do that.
Policy 2623.
No, that one. Next one.
Oh, I have my last one too. Policy 3215, use of tobacco by professional staff. There you go, thank you. Policy 4215, use of tobacco by support staff. Policy 5511, dress and grooming. Policy 5512, use of tobacco by students. Policy 6108, authorization to use electronic fund transfers and automated clearinghouse arrangements. Policy 6325, procurement, federal grant/funds. Policy 6460, vendor relations. Policy 6700, Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA. Policy 7434, use of tobacco on school premises. Policy 7540.02, web accessibility content, apps, and services. Policy 7440.03, small unmanned aircraft systems. Policy 7540.03, student technology acceptable use and safety. Policy 7540.04, staff technology acceptable use and safety. Policy 8300, continuity of organizational operations plans. Policy 8305, information security. Policy 8315, information management. Policy 8400, school safety information. Policy 8805, flags and displays. Policy 9150, school visitors. Policy 9160, public attendance at school events. Lastly, policy 9700.0, advertising and commercial activities. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Tyrell. Any support? Support. Supported by trustee Nasser. Any discussion? Trustee Tyrell.
Okay, so this is a lot of policies that were looked at by previous committees. For whatever reason, we are just now doing reading one. But for many of us, we are new to this board. Please take time and read these policies again. If you have any problem with it, you still have 2 weeks for the second reading. We can pull it, we can make adjustments if this full board feels so inclined. Okay, so I just want to make sure that, because it's a new year, basically a new board, that everyone takes a look at it and fully understands what they're going to.
Thank you. If you did complete your comment on that, just
I'm
wanted to make sure. Did you complete your
I
comment?
did.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Secretary Muller?
One of the things I had emailed to ask was how the public can view these policies, since there was so many of them this time around.
I'll defer that to Mark.
Yeah, so I'm looking into a way that we can do that. Certainly if someone wants to call the board office, make an appointment, we'll have copies up there. But I am going to check into this whole concept of digital to see how that would work and what we could do. So I think in the interim though, if someone is interested, they certainly can come. They can come up to the board office, we can give them a copy, they can look at it. And
Okay. Secretary Mullins, does that complete your comment and your question? All right, thank you. Trustee Dowd.
And then I'd just like to suggest, if that seems to work out, that we amend that policy where it says there's a first and a second reading, that in between the first and the second, we add that they will be online for public viewing. But make it a policy change so that everyone in the future knows.
Got it. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Any other discussion? Yes.
Just one more. I think I remember when I was a community member on policy, I think you were chair, but I can't remember. But the Neola rep said that there was a draft area in the docs area that we can make public so people can be able to see the draft version
Just for the board.
publicly before it goes out. If we can make that public.
It was just for the board, but we could maybe see if we could make that public by changing policy. Yeah.
You have anything to say about that?
yeah, we want to be careful about that, but I can think of another way that might be a little bit easier. And the reason being that things get put in there that that even before that I might open up a folder, put it in there, and it might be for a future discussion item, and people could get confused about, hey, is that going to the policy or whatever?
Is that
So
a policy?
yeah, so I am thankful that both our guidelines and our AGs are online and accessible to everybody. I think we can come up with a plan to
I do too.
yeah, to put the ones that we're looking at here. So transparency, everybody knows here since this table, I was a Neola rep, so I know how to navigate that process pretty easily. But I use it, even when I was a rep with other school districts, I would go in and pull stuff that the superintendent wanted to just discuss and that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't want to open up that section. Maybe someone might see that and say, oh, is that going to be a policy or a policy change? So there could be major confusion with that.
All right. I believe we're ready for roll call.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Dyer?
Yes.
Trustee Gayes?
Yes, motion carried. And again, letter B was removed, so we're going to letter E. Donation at Annapolis High School all-night senior party, exhibit number 6. Be resolved that the Board of Education will donate $1,000 to the Annapolis High School senior all-night graduation party, which will be held on June 6, 2024, following the graduation ceremony at Annapolis High School. Monies will be derived from general fund. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Nasser. There's support. Supported by treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? I do want to, if I may go first.
Sure.
So again, I do recognize that in the past, the request has been of $500, but this recent request that we received asked for $1,000, and that's why I put it there to vote. All right, Vice President Wong.
I was just wondering, because it's going to be at Zapso, that's correct?
Yes.
So my question is that going to be closed off just for our graduating class, or is there going to be general public there too, so they can see? If anybody knows the answer.
Okay, I'll defer to Secretary Wong. Secretary Wong.
For the all-night party, it's a closed party, just for the all-night party, staff and a couple of volunteers from the party.
So no general public would be able to?
No.
Perfect, thank you.
Mark, did you want to add to that?
No, I just think that this is really a neat gesture by the board to support this, and this is a safe graduation evening event, which I think that is awesome. It gives our students a place to go, and what a way to celebrate their accomplishments graduating from school and doing this, so very cool.
All right, thank you, Mark. Any other discussion? Roll call. No.
I
Go
just,
ahead.
when we have increased this in the past, like on the PTO groups, we've just made sure we've done the same thing going forward. That we give that same amount going forward
Yep.
for every class, so it's fair.
Hoping that request comes that way, but thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. I don't know how they would know the request, like, I know this specific person knows how to request, so
I
I know
got
why
it.
she did what she did. But I don't know how people would know
know.
what to do, but
Yeah.
we'll cross that
Keep that
bridge
across.
when we come to it.
You're right about that. Thank you. Trustee Dyron.
Honestly, in the past, I'm not sure that we have really every year it's been a request. It's just, there's a tickler system for the agendas, and so when it comes up, it's kind of just placed there. So whether it's requested or not, it will always now in the future be pulled at this time of the year and added to this agenda,
Thank you for that.
in case someone forgets.
Any other discussion? Thank you for that request. To make sure that we got it added. Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Nancy.
Yes.
Trustee Wong.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Darrow.
Yes.
And Trustee Gay.
Yes. Motion carries. Letter F, football fencing project. Be resolved that the Board of Education awards Star Fence, Dearborn Heights, Michigan, the fencing installation project at Shercock Football Field. The monies from the contract cost of $9,100.00 will be derived from general fund. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Wall. There's support. Supported by Trustee Nasser. Their discussion. I do want to say before I give it to you, Trustee Dyroff, that this is at the recommendation of the Building and Site Committee, which will be reflected in the meeting minutes that I'll read later. And that is all I have for that. Trustee Dyroff.
Why general fund and not building and site dollars?
I'll
So,
defer that to Mark.
yeah, so I did ask that question. Our business manager indicated that this would be better coming out of the general fund. It's all general fund dollars, whether it's in the building site, unless it's an ESSER account or a bond account. So it's general fund. So when I asked her, she said, Mark, just put it in, take this from general fund dollars.
In all my years on the board, I've never heard that building and site is general fund dollars. Building and site has never been general fund. There's a whole separate account for that. And then every year, we come up with the projects that's come out of that.
Okay, so I might have,
account.
yeah, I might have misspoke myself.
Okay.
So when we discussed this at the committee meeting, the building and site dollars, you're right, from the sinking, I call it sinking fund,
Sinking
right?
fund,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So when I talked to our finance person, she said that this would be fine to take from the general fund.
And, I would like to respect that, except I see this as a building and site project. It came from that committee, and those are the dollars, and I just feel like we're spending our general fund dollars and spending them and spending them and spending them. I mean, if you go back and look at agendas, we are spending those general fund dollars, and we're gonna run out of ESSER dollars soon. And so I'm just a little concerned, that if there's money in a sinking fund, it seems to me, and this came from the building and site committee, it seems to me that that's where the dollars should come from, unless they don't have it in the sinking fund. So that's my biggest thing. I'm not opposed to this at all, I'm opposed to where the dollars come from.
So I guess I chair that committee, and I guess I would like to take into account what you're saying, and I wholeheartedly respect it, but I want to go with what the business manager suggested we do in this matter. But I will leave it up to the board, and there is a motion on the table, and if the board wants to change that, we would have to rescind both of those. Yes.
So I'm gonna probably sound really dumb here, but, so this actually started in the bond committee. This whole project, obviously you know that, right? And they ran out of funds, and that's how it kinda got put on our agenda. And I don't know, could that be any reason of why it's coming from general fund versus the building site? Because this really wasn't our project, this was.
Correct, this is part of the greater project. So I don't have a problem pulling this. If you guys want to pull it, table it, and I can talk to our business manager and see where those funds are. We might have to pull the building site back together again and discuss it more at length. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. To that point, is this a time-sensitive matter? Have you spoken with Jason? Is that something we should?
No, I think we have time to.
We have time. Okay. So, would anyone want to take that into consideration and table it? And if so, I would need two people to assist. Vice President Warren.
So, I sat in the building and site meeting, and one of the things is they are looking at some of the bigger projects to use the funds. For instance, like one is the air conditioning system. You know, so I know that's something that, I think that might have been one of the other reasons too. I can't say specifically because I'm not the one who put that there, but, yeah, so that, I'm comfortable with this coming out of the general fund, but, you know, it's my opinion.
Okay. I'll lean on the committee if I can, just for a moment. Treasurer Sterling, what would you recommend? Again, because we're the building and site committee.
Right. I'm fine with it coming out of the general fund, but my gut kind of tells me to lean a little bit towards Mandy because, you know, she's been here a little longer than I have, so we table it for a minute, as long as we're okay with it. Mark thinks that we're good tabling it for a minute.
Okay. Okay. Hearing that. All right. So, yes.
I too am in favor of tabling it, and my question is there dollars in building and site, or are there dollars in sinking fund to pay for this, in addition to whatever, because I know how it goes, I know that there's projects out there. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to pay Peter to, you know, what is it, rob Peter to pay Paul, thank you. But I also really stress the importance of, I know we have a great fund equity, but we also have contracts, and we want to honor those. And because our fund's running out, general fund matters, and what we have in it matters. And so when it can be taken from grants and where a project actually is, I'm in favor of that, more so than just general fund.
Okay. Thank you for that. And before we move on with this, there's not another building and site committee meeting on the books. We could change that if we wanted to, but I just wanted to make note of that. And so if we do move to table this, we could possibly get that information, and get that from you, and then we'll throw a meeting together.
A meeting for what?
Building and site committee.
Building and site.
You feel like you would need a meeting? You don't feel like you
No,
just
I'm not
say-
saying that it's necessarily needed. I
Okay.
just wanted to speak to that. That
Okay.
if we wanted to have a lengthy discussion
Okay.
about projects,
Okay.
receive a budget,
I see.
whatever.
Okay, I thought maybe you have been doing that all along. I
No.
apologize. No,
No.
you don't get a budget every meeting?
Not every meeting, but at the request and regularly, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and because we talk about it in finance.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I just don't have it in
on
front
this
of me
finance
today.
committee to keep us on the straight and narrow when it comes to general fund dollars.
And we have been, would you agree? Yes.
And I appreciate that work.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so that motion was by Vice President Wall, and it was supported by Trustee Natson. What do we want to do?
I can go ahead and rescind that.
Okay,
I shall rescind.
all right. So with that being said, it have to be tabled into the next meeting, and then we'll expect more information about budgetary matters.
Motion to table.
All right, thank you. I received a motion to table by Secretary Winless. Supported by Trustee Dyroff. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes. Motion carries. Tabled to the next meeting. Letter G, American Red Cross Training Quote, Exhibit Number 8. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the CPR AED training for district staff. The cost for up to 80 people to be trained in adult and pediatric CPR AED will be no more than $8,828.00. Monies will be derived from the school safety grant. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. There's support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Any discussion? Vice President Wall?
Yeah, Mr. Hines, do you know offhand how many possible staff there would be? And once this is done, does this mean that all the staff that we have should be having their certifications?
Yes, I don't have that exact number. It's, the way that they do the quote, it's up to 80 slots that we have, and I know that Cheryl Howard spearheaded this and sent information out, people signed up, so it's pretty close to that. I don't have the number of everyone that has gone through the training at this point, but I can get that information.
And then one last question. Are all teachers to be certified?
That's the plan, yes, that all of our staff.
I didn't know if there's a policy, a Michigan policy or anything that's on.
They just changed it. There was a recent legislative change on that. I can pull that and get that to you so you have it. Yeah.
Do you need that information? Is that
No,
a
I
need
don't-
to know?
No, I
Okay.
just hear more curious. That's all.
Just checking. All right. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter H, Piston Gang Field Trip. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves a field trip to Little Caesars Arena for team bonding of the OW Best basketball team on December 13th, 2023, at no cost to the students, but with the cost of the district of $550 for the bus. Monies will be derived from general fund. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Nasser. Is there support? Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Is there a discussion? So I just want to uplift to the board that my son is a basketball player, and so if the board feels that I should recuse myself from this vote, then please let me know that's the reason.
I appreciate you
All
saying.
right, you're welcome. Any other discussion? Roll call. Yes.
Is, just for clarification, is it just all boys? You know, just, because I saw there was only 2 chaperones, I just wondered.
Yes, yep, it's boys basketball team, yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter I, Quint Plumbing and Heating, Inc., Exhibit Number 10. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves Quint Plumbing and Heating, Inc. to remove 2 slabs of concrete and install a 2-way cleanout and the jetting of pipes. The location is Pardee Elementary School, 4650 Pardee Avenue, Dearborn Heights, Michigan, for a cost of $6,800.00. Monies will be derived from general funds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Vice President Walls. There's support.
Support.
Supported by Secretary Winless. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Oh, sorry, Mark.
Yep, I want to add that this was an emergency approval for our policy. We had to get it fixed. The kindergartners were scrambling down to the other restrooms, and please know that there will be additional costs. This was just to get the fix done. So we'll see additional dollars coming through to do the repair to get this taken care of. But we needed to move quickly for those little ones.
All right, thank you for that, Mark. Any other discussion? Vice President Wall?
I just have one question. They know they're removing the 2 slabs of concrete, but then on here they said the price of stone disposal will be an additional charge. So does that actually mean that 2 slabs they know they're removing is going to be extra?
Right, that'll be extra down the road. That's what I was talking about. So, and plus there was another area that they had to go into, so there will be additional costs. But I just told them, fix it. We need to get it fixed for the school.
Second, please. All right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasser?
Yes.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter J, illustrative mathematics, exhibit number 11. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the illustrative mathematics grades 6 through 12 professional learning plan as presented at a cost to the district of $10,000. Monies will be derived from general fund. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Dyroff. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by treasurer Sterlini. I don't know why I always stumble. It's so weird. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. On to unfinished business. Letter A, adoption of additional law firms. Be resolved that the Board of Education will adopt additional law firms at the 2024 Board of Education organizational meeting to be used for legal services at the discretion of the superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Wendlis and supported by Trustee Dyroff. Any discussion? Roll call. Ooh, yes.
I'm assuming at the organizational meeting, then we will know who those are, the law firms. This is just so that everyone knows that we are agreeing to do this.
Yep, and then I will add, I've already reached out and have spoken to one of the other firms.
Okay.
Yep, and I told them that, just to get discussion and get things started, but I told them that, nothing would be formal until after, if the board approved this resolution.
I think it's important to note that this discussion at the last meeting, I wasn't in favor of, others were in favor of it, but it was Mark who said that we can have a variety of attorneys for various things, and he would be the one to determine it. I don't know that that was said at this meeting or if that came after.
I don't think I mentioned that, but that is correct.
Yeah, I
Many-
just think for transparency,
Yep.
so people don't wonder what the heck happened to me.
Yeah, no, you're good. So, in my past experiences at organizational meetings, and I know that other superintendents do this as well, they have the board adopt 2 or 3 different attorneys, and they use those attorneys at the will of the superintendent. For example, if one is tied up dealing with, I'm just going to throw a real estate issue and looking at a problem, and then you have another issue come up, then you can call the other individual. So it's really a good tool for superintendents to use to continue to do the business of the board and move the district forward.
I appreciate that, so thank you.
And also for transparency, the question came up on if an RFP process is needed, and answer is no, it's not a requirement. And I learned that from MASB. I wanted to echo that as well. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. New business, superintendent evaluation calendar. Be resolved that the Board of Education moves the superintendent evaluation to be held during the school year calendar time period effective immediately. Is there a motion? So moved by Trustee Dyroff. Is there support? Supported by multiple people, but I heard Secretary Wendlis first. I also heard you, Vice President Wall. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Nasir?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Sterling?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. Letter B, Assistant Superintendent, Acting Superintendent Contract Amendment. Be resolved that the Board of Education approves the proposed contract amendment for the Assistant Superintendent, Acting Superintendent, along with the title change to Interim Superintendent as presented, and this is exhibit number 12 in your packets. Is there a motion? So moved by Vice President Wall, I believe I heard. Okay. So moved by Trustee Nasser. So moved by Treasurer Sterlini, supported by
Support.
Vice President Wall. Is there discussion? So for the sake of transparency with this contract amendment, the highlight is that it will award Mark, in this case, $2,500 per pay period, along with a $250 per pay period card allowance, along with the change of interim superintendent, just for transparency to the public. Okay, is there any other discussion? I will give it to you, and then Mark.
I just want to say it's effective December 6th. once we vote on it, it's effective today. And I wondered if we should put that in the motion. And then I do want everyone to know that it's still at this point, you know, with the title of interim superintendent, you're still doing 2 jobs. So we appreciate that. And
Please.
hard work, really.
Thank you for that, and shall the board not think it's clear enough to say immediately with December 6th, I can say December 6th.
Does it say that?
It says
Immediately?
It says-
It does?
It says immediately.
Effective immediately.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion?
So I would just like to say, maybe I should wait till you vote before I say this. No, I'm just kidding.
You know how we do, Mark.
So I just want to say that, please know that I'm very proud to lead this district. There are great people. Some of them are sitting right here that we're looking at. That, again, proud to be associated with you folks. I believe we do have things moving forward. I'm really excited about the future. But I really, truly thank you guys for putting your trust in me to lead the district on an interim basis. So thank you so much. And doing 2 jobs is busy. I do have some support coming in and out and helping, so it is working. So, but I do thank everybody.
We thank you too. Yes.
And I'm not saying anything that's gonna negate your thing there. Just wanna make sure, like, oh, man, no. But, so the addendum does say on there the 6th day of December. So does that mean it's gonna be changed for? Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you said that though, December 6th. So I'm thinking it's a different
I don't
day.
have effective immediately in my wording.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, okay, but I'm good with that.
Okay,
Effective immediately, effective December 6th, however it works out, just as long as it's today.
everyone agrees it's today.
Yes.
All right, any other discussion?
Nope.
Roll call please before Mark slays.
Changes the sign.
Well, she right though,
Thank you.
because the effective immediately is under the evaluation calendar, but not under,
Right.
not under our.
We've said
Contract.
as
That's
presented.
what you,
Yeah. so that's
the
what-
contract does say
Yes, the
December
contract
6th.
says
So you're saying in
December
terms of agenda.
I was saying the
Yes,
motion on
the
the
motion.
agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, the motion.
I hear you now.
But it
I was
says as
confused on that.
presented, December 6th. So
We can walk
for
that.
full transparency, we already said December.
Yeah, we said December.
Sure
sixth,
did.
not the time.
Everyone said
It's
it.
today.
They got it. They got it.
The contract will be publicly posted.
Want me to read?
I'm sorry.
Please, read it.
Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Zachariah.
Yeah.
Trustee Natty.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Williams. Yes. Trustee Gay.
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations. On to district points of pride. Mark, you're up.
Very good, and thanks again. I was sweating. No, I'm just kidding. So, points of pride this evening, congratulations to Kelly Knapp, OW Best 8th grade science teacher. Yes, she was recognized Teacher of the Month through the Wayne County Commissioner's Office. I did have some people on the board kind of help me with this, so thank you guys so much, and I think it's certainly well-deserved. We actually, the commissioner was here, and we brought her class in because she was teaching and presented that in front of the class, and the kids really enjoyed that, so it was excellent, yep. Also want to, thanks to the Annapolis High School Student Council, they did a blood drive, and congratulations to the high school students who put on the play, Crucible, OW Best, Dreambach goals. Many students met their goals through Dreambox, and they enjoyed the pizza party. The PTO supported that, which was awesome. The students continue to make proficiency and gains in the program. And also a shout out to the PTO at OW Best for recognizing their teachers, their hard work and their dedication. They were featured weekly on the Facebook page, and the principal just said she wants to thank the PTO for all of their help that they've done for this school year. Lots of things going on at the elementary. At Bedford, they're hosting a family holiday night on the 14th from 6 to 7. Fun, crafts, activities, and games for students and families. They're also doing a stocking raffle where teachers donate stockings filled with goodies, and students purchase raffle tickets, and the funds go towards the PBS Positive Behavior Support Program. At Pardee, of course, I actually went to the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, my first one ever. It was awesome. The hallways were full of kids and popcorn and toast, and couldn't believe how many toasters they had. It was amazing. They also hosted a Native American assembly for students that focused on Native American culture, music, and stories. The staff participated in a teacher night at McDonald's. They worked the floor, served food, they manned the drive-through. Students and their families had a blast. It was from 4 to 7, and it was a very successful fundraiser. At Polk, they're holding their annual holiday night on December 14th as well, 5 to 6:30. There's lots of family fun that will be taking place, crafts, activities, as well as refreshments. At Madison, I thought this was really cool. They received enough toys to send a toy home with every student. They got donated to Madison, so thank you for those community for supporting our little ones. Upcoming events, the 13th is a half day for students. That's our professional development day. Shout out to Dr. Finney. She set up all of the staff in service. The focus is specific to content areas and training, as well as not just for teachers, but support staff. Some of the topics for that day: everyday math, digital libraries, illustrated math has improved that, high quality secondary social studies instruction, productive discourse in science classrooms, some National Geographic programming, CPI training, and then the CPR AED training. I also want to mention and invite all of our community members for the 31 AA grant. For the requirements, we had to put together, Dr. Finney did a ton of work on this. We have to seek feedback from the school community on mental health and school safety. So I would encourage everyone to go to our website, click on that icon, and we can have you guys take that survey. Once that's compiled, we need to do that for the grant, and then we could also use that as we're looking forward to setting up our first Citizens Advisory Committee, so we can use that as baseline data. The other thing, and I have to mention this tonight, I was here at OW Best for Parents Night for the basketball and the cheerleaders, and I thought it was awesome. It was really awesome. The cheerleading moms and some of our staff members filled in, had to go out and do a little dance. It was really, really cool. I just thought, I've never seen that before, so it's very neat. So again, and just a final thank you to all those who work, volunteer, and support our district. And I know that these times, as we move into the holidays, get a little busy, but I do certainly appreciate everyone's support for our district and for our students.
All right, a lot of pride there. It's really good to hear. Thank you for that, Mark. On to public comment number 2. Is there any public comment to come before the board? Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. I'm Anne Moran, teacher at Best. So I was just wondering if at the organizational meeting in January, if you could possibly consider moving the board start time for the regular meetings to 6. So it's just a question. Thank you.
All right. Very quick public comment. Yes. Thank you very much. Is there any public comment, any other public comments coming before the board?
Hello again.
Good evening, welcome.
Rachel LaCroix, formerly of America, all that fun stuff. First, as a member of one of our local nonprofits, started by Any Means Necessary, TMN, we had our second annual Friendsgiving event here. And we just want to extend a thank you to the district for hosting us here, for letting us use this space. We were here in the cafeteria, had an amazing time, delicious food, we had a shop set up, that people were able to come and shop for clothes, winter coats, all that kind of stuff for free. It was very well attended, we had a great time, kids were here, families, we had a blast, we had kids singing Jingle Bells, it was a great time. Specifically, I would like to thank a few specific people, kind of a long list, but yeah. From the district, we especially want to thank Leo from Chartwells, who helped so much with the food, serving it. It was a huge help. Ms. Brown, the principal here, for her hospitality, especially Mr. Millett, Jason Perkins, and the whole operations team for everything that they did, as well as our sponsors, which include this is where the list gets on. The Dearborn Heights Community Food Pantry, all of D7 really, Jamie's kids and Councilman Tom Wenzel, the Dearborn Heights firefighters, Wayne County Commissioner Kamizik, Windless LLC, Council Pro Tem Mo Bey-Dune, Councilman Hassan Ahmad, From the Hood for the Hood nonprofit, Honey Baked Ham, Lashish, Lapita, Boo Boo Photography, and Arlie's Book Drive. So those were all our different sponsors and people that contributed to the event. Again, it's really an amazing way for the community to come together. I hope that we can continue to work with D7 on these things, because I think that that's really, it's just a really good way to build up the community. So that was the first public comment. Now, on other public comment stuff, after the thank yous. I'm glad that you guys kind of decided to stick with OW Best. As someone with a physical disability that occasionally requires me to walk around, it would be really hard in the board office. Like, I wouldn't want to have to disrupt the meeting if it did go longer, to have to like get some pacing in or something. And in that space, it just really would not work. And then the other thing I noticed on the building and site minutes that you guys had handed out, that the sidewalk repairs were billed over $55,000 from the city of Dearborn Heights. We really need to go out for bid when we need to do sidewalk repairs, because the city overcharges. They charge $375 a slab, I believe. We can definitely get a way better deal than that, I feel like. So next time that comes up, I would love if we can go out for bid or see what other things, because I know even just regular residents, they can get cheaper prices on just a couple slabs. So that big of a project, we could probably save some money there. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you for your public comment. Is there any other public comments come before the board? Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Heather Sanders, 1440 May Street. So I just have one really quick question. And on the agenda, we talked about the Piston game field trip for the basketball team. And it was asked if it was just for the boys, and it was. And so I was just wondering if the girls had a field trip, and if so, to where? I don't personally have a basketball player, but I know I'm already getting those questions of asking, well, what are the girls doing? So I figured I would ask that. I also wanted to say these are awesome. I love these at the meeting now. Instead of going online, I get like my own personal copy of the board brief. So whoever decided to do these for our meetings and policy meetings, awesome, thank you. Thank you, Susan.
All right, thank you for your public comment. Is there any other public comments come before the board? Any other public comments come before the board? Last call, any other public comments come before the board? Hearing and seeing none, thank you. On to other business, board committee updates. I do have an update from Building and Site Committee. I do not see any other updates from any other committee, so I will defer to the minutes. And then there are extra copies of the minutes that were placed at the table up front. So our meeting was on November the 15th. President was myself, Treasurer Sterlini, Mr. Perkins, Mr. Vice President Wall, and Mr. Kleinhans. Absent for that meeting was Mrs. Greka and Mrs. Morgan. The meeting was called to order at 5:34 p.m. To start us off, Mark gave a review of funds to support current, upcoming, and potential projects. Overall finances are in good standing. For agenda item number 1, tennis court, further update and discussion. Mark met with Kim Lawrencell from the Department of Rec. This is still an open matter and the discussion will continue.
Back and forth digitally.
It was a digital meeting, so through email, it was not over the phone. Thank you for that. So I'll reiterate that it was email correspondence between Mark and Kim, but it is an ongoing and open matter. Number 2, Bedford site assessment updates. The Board of Education had previously approved this, but the RFP is to come to Building and Site Committee after survey is done. Number 3, Annapolis High School air conditioning project update. Estimate received, and it's going back out to bid. Jason highlighted for us, because I think it's confusing at times, that Earsman does architectural work and doesn't do mechanical work. Peter Basso, for instance, does mechanical work. TMP declined to do that mechanical work for us. And so Jason will contact Earsman to get quotes for 2 other mechanical work companies. to have options and maybe lower costs, we are hoping. The project will be funded from ESSER dollars, which we should keep in mind will expire out as of September 2024. For mechanical projects update, Mr. Perkins gave that. They're wrapping up final and small details, waiting for inspections and balancing. For number 5, fence at football field, which we talked about earlier in our agenda. 2 estimates were received. Stark Fence was the lowest quote. We had asked for more research regarding the gate construction. We did receive that, and Mark supports this as well as Perkins as well. Right, Mark? Perkins will report out to the committee on the gate construction, which we did receive that. The committee did recommend to go with Stark Fence because of the lowest quote. For the sidewalks, the City of Dearborn Heights sent the bill of $55,275, and the projects are finished. And I can just speak to that very briefly, that we asked Jason about this, and he ensured that he did do some research on the matter, and that this was the lowest. And so we went with Jason's recommendation on that. On to other business. Administration and talks with security company to install extra security devices like the boots. That's what Mark kind of phrased them as, like boots that lock down and lock, which are for school-wide alert systems and lights, and we can call 911. So it's a very updated and very useful security system, the way it was described to us, and it would be available to all schools. The estimated cost would be around $660,000, and again, this is a new project. The proposal will go to the district safety committee, then finance committee, and then building and site, just to make sure we have the funding available, just to make sure that the safety committee approves it and things of that nature. But this was something that the building and site committee was highly in favor of, given the presentation that we received from Mark. And again, it is to increase and enhance safety devices. Could be funded using the safety grant funds. We have about $275,000 left in the safety grant fund. Surrounding school districts do have these devices already, and they speak very highly of them. I'll give it to Mark.
Can I just add? So 275 from last year unspent, and then this year there will probably be similar to that or a little bit more with that. And I would just also make note, the 660,000 after our meeting and went through all of those things, that price is going to be adjusted. I don't have the final price, but the idea is to do the presentation part of the committee first, and then we'll talk about that. So.
Okay. And then there was no public comment. Our meeting was adjourned at 6:24, and the next meeting date is to be determined. Any questions? Yes.
So, TMP declined to do the job. I gotta tell you, I'm a little concerned by that. They've been our architecture firm forever. So, but regardless, in January, we've also approved architecture firms on our organizational agenda. Will there be another architecture firm in addition to TMP? And I wanted to just throw that out there so that we could get on that. Okay, you don't have to answer now. I just know that if TMP is not wanting us anymore for whatever those reasons are, we need someone. Okay. And then I do have policy, but I'll wait till you're done.
All right. Any other questions about building and site? And again, since that could possibly be our last meeting for the year, I just want to again echo that you guys do really good work in that committee, and I think we did our due diligence to make sure the operations and the functions of our district are where they need to be at this time, with the funding and the recommendations from Jason and from Mark. And so again, thank you so much for working alongside of me to do that work in that committee. And thank you to Mark. All right. I believe that is it for me. And then I know there was a policy committee meeting today. We don't have minutes in front of us, but policy chair maybe wants to speak.
Yeah, so I can give you those minutes real quick, because it was they're pretty brief minutes. I'll check those out and send it to everyone.
Thank you.
And then they'll be hard copy for December 20th, but I won't need to report at that meeting. So today we met and we reviewed Neola's recommended policies 38, number 1. There were about 6 of them. One of them we're sending back to Neola for some clarification. But pretty much all the other policies we went through, we agreed upon. The first reading of those, we feel we should wait until January, just because we have the 37s and they'll be approved in the December 20th meeting, and then we can move forward with the 38s in January. first and second readings. Actually, it would be January and then February. And that was pretty much it. There was no public participation. The meeting adjourned at 6:25. And I'm guessing that this is our last meeting for this year as well. And I too would like to thank those on the committee. And, you know, I'm not opposed to if next year someone else feels the need to chair. You know, I'm okay with that. I can stand down and pose.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry, you did a really great job of those.
Yes.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. It's not an easy
No, it's
thing
not.
to get through.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
And so I guess, because I have been the one to echo this for quite some time, and I can appreciate Trustee Tyrell for making mention of it last time, but just doing work around educational equity policies, and just I look forward to hearing more about that in future meetings.
So, that and some other things, Rachel brought up several policies that she really wanted us to look at. I have basically turned those over to Mark, so that he can work with those, his administrators, and go through those policies, make those changes first before they come to us, instead of us acting like we're the know-all be-all.
Yeah.
And in this way, we come in with their best work, and then we can look at that and move forward from there.
Got it. And that was one of those.
Yeah,
I
that
really
is one of
appreciate
them, and Mark can speak to that further.
Yeah, so we laughed a little bit because, so I was thinking, well, we can get these done with the administrative team in short order. So there were probably 4 or 5. We spent 2 hours last week and got through 1 or maybe 2. So we are meeting again next week, and that's our task to get those cleaned up. And so
And thank you for that.
yeah, we'll probably have another policy meeting after the holidays once we have time to go through and get all this stuff done, and then we'll bring those to you folks. So.
And I want to know, it's not every single policy we're doing this with, but there are some that administration really should be weighing in on before we even start discussing. So it's those policies, it's the DEI one, you know, we thought should come forward.
Makes sense to me. And again,
But I
thank you
hope
for
it makes
that.
sense to everyone.
Just to me. All right. And I believe that completes your update on policy.
It does.
And again, there are no other committee meeting updates. On to upcoming board committee meetings. There is not one for bond.
We're looking to get one more in before the end of the year, because it's going to be like the closing of the
Yeah,
bond.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so
Okay.
that should hopefully get posted on the website soon.
So I'll put to be determined.
Right.
For my notes.
Yes.
Okay. We currently do not have an upcoming meeting for building and site committee. For finance, there's an upcoming meeting on December 20th at 5:30 at OWS. For policy, there was one today. And then there are no upcoming meetings for technology committee. And again, as always, meeting dates, times, locations are subject to change, and updates will be announced on the official website and social media. Is there any other business to come before the board? Secretary Lowe? Oh, sorry. Treasurer's your meeting.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. As we prepare for the organizational meeting, one thing that I wanted to see if, I guess it would go with Mark, I'm not sure, to look into the newspaper people that we pick. I was wondering if we could add the Cougar Crier as one of our newspaper outlets and have them start covering our meetings. If we could hire them in addition to the company that we're using.
Yep. Okay. Good one. Any other business? Treasurer's Carolina?
And maybe this is an old post, but is there something going on with the school districts all competing for Toys for Tots? I thought I saw something on the city's page.
Yes.
So the Toys for Tots, like we're in competition with Crestwood, Livonia and all that, so, I don't know when that's going on till.
So
Sorry,
December 15th.
December 15th, so if people want to bring, can you speak?
I actually have more details on that.
I want to make sure you're done.
I'm done, she can
Sure.
speak
All
to
right.
it, no.
Okay.
I just
Thank you
caught
for
it, and I
bringing
wanted
that
it
up.
out there.
I got so excited because I love Toys for Tots. So basically, the idea is Annapolis and Crestwood, Livonia Public Schools, and Northville, and any other schools that join from now until December 15th, we're in competition. So I know personally at Annapolis, my sister is in the Key Club and in the NHS. They are competing within each other with clubs to raise the most toys. So if any of us or anyone in the public has toys unwrapped and unused, any ages, you can drop them off to the administration, like at the front office, because we need to win. this isn't a game, like this is like for real. There's no way we're letting any other school district, let alone any other school in our city, beat us. Like, even if you go to the Dollar Tree and you pick up like 10 toys, you're good. If we each do that, that's like 70 toys. So, emphasis on winning, very emphasis, because it's a good cause and it helps our children and students within the area.
It's about the kids.
It's a healthy competition. It's a healthy competition. So I encourage everyone, please donate. Please, even if you can give money to people to where they can buy the toys if you don't have time. Whatever it may be, we need to win for the children.
Thank you for your advocacy around that. B7, let's win. All right, I'll go to trustee Dara, I'll circle back.
How long do we have?
Till the 15th. Honestly, we could compete against each other.
Friendly competition is always good. Especially with the Dollar Tree. Go ahead.
And the other second thing I had is, do we want to discuss the board meetings at 6 o'clock? Or do we want to do that at the next meeting? But, it's not the first time that request has come forward, so I think it's, worth a conversation on how we feel about that. And I think, truthfully, I'm fine with that. I think the issue sometimes isn't the start time as much as sometimes getting home,
Right.
You look around the room, a lot of these moms are gonna get home after the kids are put to bed. So I get it.
Oh, some of you are older.
Point of order, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you did it again.
I did.
All right,
All right.
thank
Sorry.
you.
Anyway, are we gonna discuss it?
I personally would need some time to just see
Okay.
how that works for me, but I will go with board consensus, because what else are we to do?
Well, can we discuss it at the next meeting?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. That gives people time to think about it.
Can we discuss it at the organizational meeting since it's already, like, we finalized?
You can post it. We just approved the meeting, the organizational meeting for January 10th. I don't know if we set the time, but you can always adjust the time when you post it. Put it out on the website. Okay.
Am I hearing correctly that it will be discussed at the next meeting, put it on the agenda item? Give some
Thank
folks
you.
time to think about it. All right, thank you. Any other business? Secretary Willis, I saw your hand raised and I thought.
Oh, it was about the Toys for Tots. After everybody's done collecting them, they have to be sorted and then assigned to different families. So, I don't know if everybody knows Katie Smith, because that's Joey's mom. Her and her dad run the Toys for Tots organization for this area. So if anybody's looking to volunteer, it's a great initiative. It's fun to do, and it's right here in Allen Park, so it's not that far.
Thank you. All right, sounds good. If there is no other business, just wanted to remind the board members to complete those board assessments that we agreed to do, with the deadline being on the 15th. I did receive a reminder email from NASB. And again, the point of all of that is just to not grade ourselves, not disparage ourselves, but to see what we did well this year and what we want to continue doing well moving forward. All right, so just a friendly reminder. And thanks to those who've already completed. Okay, any other business? Hearing, seeing none. On to kudos. I placed at least 2 at each of our stations. I'll start with Nancy.
Heather, this is to EnviroClean from Heather Bennett. And it is for steam cleaning all of my rugs the same day I put in request. I wanted to take a moment to reach out and express my gratitude for the prompt and efficient service provided by EnviroClean. I had requested a steam cleaning for all the rugs in my classroom, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that they were able to complete the job on the very same day. Thank you, it is greatly appreciated. The next one I have is to Carrie Brandreth from Jennifer Feiner. I apologize. Carrie goes above and beyond to make sure our classrooms are clean and ready for learning. She is conscientious in her work and always makes sure we have what we need. She is always chipper and is helping me to learn how to not sweat the small stuff. We are grateful for Carrie. We are grateful that Carrie is at our school and our end of the building. Thanks for all you do, Carrie. You are the best.
Thank you, Mandy. Leslie?
Mine is to Shannon Smith from Leah Bowers. Thank you for your help at best, being our eye and ears.
I appreciate all that you do. In parentheses, she has security, which works in security. The next one is to Jennifer Swollen from Leah Bowers. Thank you for being the glue that holds best together. I appreciate all you do. Smiley face.
Okay. I have to Tina Doney from Leah Bowers. Thank you for being the glue that holds best together. I appreciate all that you do. A smiley face. The next is maybe for Hassan Burley, security. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, from Leah Bowers. Thank you for your help at best being our eyes and ears. I appreciate all that you do. With a smiley face.
This is from November 22nd to Dawn Pertula, Katie Canfield, and the OWPBIS team from Ariel Brown for organizing an amazing PBIS adventure. The students had such a fun time with the scavenger hunt and all the fun activities. Thank you. Thank you, team, for all that you do. You have a positive impact on our school. To Mark Kleinhans from Ariel Brown, December 5th, for being 100% present and invested in our students. When we need your guidance, you are available and assist us quickly. Your knowledge and experience is such an asset to our district. You have been visible and active in our building. We cannot tell you how much this means to us. Any need, big or small, you have delivered. We appreciate all your help thus far.
Thank you for that.
Tennessee Hedrick from Amanda Steger. Kudos for organizing and overseeing the awesome PBIS activities on the half day before Thanksgiving break. You created an amazing reward for students and allowed the staff to also get in on the fun. Your organization and leadership truly made it a day the kids will remember. And then Carrie Brandreth from Amanda Steger. Carrie works hard at Annapolis every single day and takes pride in her work. Her positivity and kindness makes me look forward to seeing her smiling face at the end of each day. Thank you for always going above and beyond. You are the best.
Thank you for that.
My first one is to Abid Al-Shawali, and it says, Abid is a student at EHS, but he is so much more than that. Abid has been instrumental in helping with school events and projects, and his technology skills are amazing. Abid was my right hand at the haunted house, coordinating technology and technical problems throughout the event. He helps with on-the-spot tech questions and always knows the right answer. His management skills are excellent. I could not have done the haunted house without him this year. Thank you, Abid. From Jennifer Feynman. To Besma Al-Ansari from Jennifer Feynman. Besma joined our department late in the semester and she's knocking it out of the park. We are so happy to have her in our department. Welcome, Besma. You're killing it.
Okay, thank you. I believe that completes the written kudos. Is there any other kudos any board member would like to mention? Hearing and seeing none, there's a need for closed session pursuant to OMA Section 8C at the request of the superintendent. Be resolved that the Board of Education goes into closed session for the purpose of collective bargaining at 8:31 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Secretary Winless. Is there support? Support. Supported by Treasurer Sterlini. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Dyer?
Yes.
Trustee Willis? Yes. Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Nasser? Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Gator?
Yes, motion carries. We will be meeting in the teacher's lounge.
They have a need for toys over. They are having a hard time filling like 6 and 7 and up. She says it's like everybody buys the abundance for the little bit.
Yeah.
And when she gets